Okay. So if we're looking at the anchoring of our VWAP, we got 2 months in now. So what I did is I've anchored the VWAP to the session, not session. I've anchored it to, oh, come on. Okay, I've anchored it to the quarter. There we go. I've anchored it to the quarter. If we go here, give me the pin. Give me the pin. Yes. Okay, well, where did my mouse go? Oh, you're way over here again. Okay, we're just gonna do what you want to do and not what I want to do. There we go. Okay, so I'm going here on the VWAP and I've anchored it on the quarter. You see this? The way you do this, I'm inside the gear shift. And once I'm inside the gear shift, I believe I'm on, there we go, VWAP. I'm here where it says anchor period. Generally, it automatically populates to the session. We looked at the week and the month. We didn't talk about the quarter the other day, but I thought about it some more and said if we anchor it to the quarter, okay, what this will give us or could give us is this is the first 2 months worth of data. This is January and February. Right, this is 2025 so far. And we've got VWAP ranges. This could potentially, for those of us who trade out a little further, who would like to be able to trade out a little further, now we've got some zones and some ranges that could potentially work for you, us, as we are selecting strikes for the month of March, right? So the first band is here. Now, first band is turned down a little bit because of this yellow, this drop here, and then it recovered back. So this, it's got a downwards ride. We'll see what happens. But you got within the first 2 bands. Of course, the second bands are these orange ones, and then the third bands are the red. Now, I don't know how far you'd want to go out as far as the bands go. It's probably going to be out in time because this bottom band down here is what, 57.60? That's, 200 points away for another month. But now, if you're going out further in time, if you're going out 2 weeks or 3 weeks or for the month, you 57.6, 57.60 might not be too far of a thing. Up here in the top, we're looking at what, 62.40 up here. Now, generally, of course, I'm gonna say generally, wouldn't necessarily close way out this far, but you've got, some places maybe 61.80 is right here. This looks like it could be 61.80. And if we were looking down here, we've got what, 58.40, something like that. Yeah, 58.40. Okay, so I'm only going through this to say, if you're looking out further in time, this may give you some opportunity. This is probably 58.90, some opportunity to maybe get some strikes that are going to be out further in time, pull in good premiums. Now, the thing is, you'd have to make sure that you're going to be leveraging your collateral for whatever period of time that you're choosing to put this trade on. But coming back inside may give you some opportunity to get some trades further out in time with the thought that the price is going to revert back to VWAP. And now what you could possibly do too is say, okay, we got some quarterly data to use. So you trade week to week with these numbers. Maybe you say 60 from 61.20 to 58.90. Maybe I trade in that range for the week. Maybe I trade in the outer range for a week. Because the whole point is we just need to close in the middle. Right? That's what we're looking at, is closing in the middle. And you can do week. You got 2 months worth of data to use to help you now decide what would be good strikes for your daily, weekly, bi-weekly trades. All right. I was looking at what can we use for the month of March. I don't know where my mouse keeps going. Oh, there it is. Okay. Anybody got questions about what I just said there?
Be interesting to see when we meet, I guess, Thursday, because tariffs are Tuesday. Be interesting to see what we do.
I agree. All right. So, you got the same look as I won't do SPY because it's going to look very similar. This is triple Q. Triple Q is down around the bottom of this second band, right? Little upwards ride, thinking that it wants to revert back to VWAP, might give you an opportunity to trade some put credit spreads to bring it back in for the week. I'm not suggesting trades. I'm just saying use these bands. You can use these bands to potentially help you to determine strikes if you're interested in something that's not just day to day or week to week. And then IWM. IWM is turning down, has its bottom bands turning down. So, you know, if you traded VWAP or the one above VWAP 229, maybe you have opportunities here as well. All right. On our list, though, let's go grab our list. Where are you? Where's my list? Gonna go grab our list of trades. Y'all see we had 100% win rate last week. Woo woo. We didn't trade all that stuff as a community, but the list went 100% last week. Yes, yes, we'll take it. We'll take it. Okay. We're looking at, I'm going to turn VWAP back off. Actually, I'm thinking I may turn this off and go to Thinkorswim because I want us to be able to see our premiums and such. Want us to be able to see what will be good trades for the week. Come on, baby.
Did gold go back up? Gold was what, the highest now?
It did not go back up before Friday. It might be up now. It was not up when we were needing it to close there. My gold trade ended, reached. There we are. No, I don't want to close Thinkorswim. I want it open. All righty. See our list on the right-hand side? Let's look and see what do we have for interest. I wrote down Oxy, Google, UPS, Next Era Energy, and Lowe's.
You know, BMY did not move at all last week. I thought that was interesting.
What
I
is
mean, well, Bristol Myers. I didn't I think it was like 54, the lowest. I was surprised it had staying power. It didn't budge.
Yeah.
It didn't. Just like Verizon. I was like, wait, what?
It just held on. Does Bristol Myers give a dividend?
Yeah.
That may be
Oh,
why.
okay. The dividend stocks kind of held they way.
Maybe
Okay.
why? Because people who have dividend stocks and they're, you know, some people who are sitting in dividend stocks with big money, they just sitting in them and collecting their check. So they're not selling, they're not going anywhere. Okay, so nope. Come on, baby. There we go.
Did JP Morgan do good the last time it was on the list? I feel like it was on the list not too
It
long
was on the
ago,
list a
right?
couple times. It's been on the list almost every week. It dropped a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it dropped through. I can look on my Canva and see if it dropped through the last time, if it was a breach, or I'll open it up and see. What else do I have that's open here? VWAP, I need that to close. I need my moving average open.
And UPS held up last week too. I was like, okay. Is that a dividend stock too?
UPS, I don't think it is.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that had staying power last week.
I don't know if Bristol Myers pays all that great. A lot of times those dividend stocks, because they don't move a lot, they don't necessarily pay all that great. But this Bristol Myers, it's been on a good little run over the last, what, 6, 7, 8, 9 days? This is Bristol Myers that's on the screen. We had a big old gap here. Well, look at that candle right there. Had a pretty good sized gap that it went ahead and filled. No. Okay. And this was, I said that had to be earnings or something. That must have been when they paid their dividends. Oh, it says earnings. They had a nice little open, ran up, ran down, ran up, either way, and closed right back where it started. Closed right, almost right where it started. Let's see what JP Morgan did the last couple weeks. JP Morgan was not on the list last week, but the previous week, which is when Tawana had it, it got breached. On the put credit spread side, it got breached. Previous week, it wasn't on there. Previous week, it was good. 257, 260, it was good. The week of February 7th, it did what it was supposed to do. And the week of January 31st, it did what it was supposed to do that week. 257, 260, seemed like it had the same strike for those 2 weeks. And then 267, 270, it breached that. And we're back to the 255, 257, which is where it was good a couple of times. That might just be a place it likes to be.
Got it. I forgot JP Morgan is diamond.
Yes, definitely financials. Okay, so this is Bristol Myers. 5758. Bristol Myers got these long wicks. It's got a bullish, slightly bullish. The blue is my trend. 5758. 58 puts us at a 74%. But when I looked at the chart, I thought it was still okay. Looks like it's paying $16. Bristol Myers paying $16. I got something I'm gonna do here. As long as I can keep this, this is paying $16 is what we see right now. Okay. Going to Disney. Anybody trading Disney? I think Disney showed up last week, I believe, as well, too. Disney 110, 111. Let's go look at the daily chart. Okay, take me where I need to go. Disney. Supports at 108. Another support with the moving average right here at 110. Resistance at 115. So 114. Let me make it a little bit bigger. 110, 111 is what I have. We do have a little bit of resistance, and it's like it's just hanging in this area, or been hanging in this area for a minute. This is good old Disney. When I look at the trade, single, 111 has a 76% probability out of the money. 110, 111. Looks like it's paying $15 for one spread. I see some questions, I think, in the chat. Let me go look at them. They probably were there for a minute. Okay, close this. Chat. Good evening. Hello, good evening. Okay, make sure if you all got something else you want us to look at that's not on the list that you're ready to bring it up. We'll look at other stuff besides what's on our list. That's no problem. IBM. Oh, IBM got a big old earnings gap. And it looks like it might be trying to come back to close to the open. It came back into that gap on Friday. If you can see here, this wick here shows you that it came back into the gap. There we go. I'm gonna make it as big as possible so we can see. Came down into the gap a little bit. So now I'll adjust it. So that way I'm showing the true gap. Come on. There we go. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay, this is what's left of the gap from 228 and some change up until 246 and some change. That's the gap. And it's danced and touched it a bit, then went up and touched it some more. This is a buyer's gap. So IBM has buyers that are in here, but the trend, a blue line, all of the moving averages are showing that we're on a bullish trend. 245 is support. 245 would be right in here. Now, usually what we do is look at a quartile in the middle of here to see what would be your, maybe the halfway part, which if I was eyeballing it, I'd halfway mark it here, 238. Generally, the halfway point is where it may feel to. 252 is current price. It's got a ±3 for the weekly. We still on, no, we're on IBM. Why did you do that? Wonder why it didn't stay with the chart. Okay, okay, there we go. I'll fix this because this needs to link with the chart. Stay linked. So when people change things, you're still with us. Okay, 245 is an 80% probability out of the money, and it's got a ±6.9 or 7. So if you're taking away 7 here, you'd be at 245, which is right where I was suggesting the strike as well, 245. 242.5, 245 is paying $17. I'm not in love with that because if you're going to put 250 up, you should get at least 25 out of it. It might, if you're interested in IBM, you may have to consider, nope, I don't like the way that looks. I have to consider letting it come back down a little bit towards you. So that way you could get a little higher premium. Okay, that's IBM. Questions, anybody? Look at JP Morgan. And if we have any gaps that we're waiting there, it looks like everything there has been filled. It's still bullish. It did pull back this last week, like almost everything else we looked at. Definitely pulled back and still pulled to some support at 257.20. Look, I got 257.50 as our strike. It pulled right back to that support. And it moved on up some more. This wick, it gives us a good little pause, but it's looking, the moving average seems to have leveled off a little bit. So let's go to the $257.5 is a 77% probability out of the money. This is the same spot it's been in a few times, and it seems to, well, almost pause to say it's likes to hold this level, because as soon as you say that, it doesn't. Looks like it's paying $37 though. JP Morgan for a 2.5 spread paying $37. That's about a 15% return on your money, if not more. 37 divided by 250. 15% return. That's what I said, 15. 14.8. $37 for JP Morgan. We find our employees and then we employ them until they're no longer employable. Occidental fell on the neutral list. Moving average kind of dancing around the 50 is the blue. It fell on the neutral list. So I'm going to give numbers for both sides. Looking for a support here, support and support. Okay. Gap got filled here. Resistance. I need to take off the word there because I've not been using the words. So, okay, it is just a price level. Don't show name, don't show. I do want to see the price. Yes, I do. Save as a default. I don't want anything there. Okay. Alrighty, so I see 48.48 as support here, 48.84, which basically 48. What's that? 48.85? 48.48. I said 48.84. 48.48 is support, right? But it's got a good little wick here. Let me make it a little bit bigger for those who are looking on their phones. Got a good little wick right here. This would be a hammer. This will be a hammer. We're looking at both sides of Oxy. Looks like it's got a thing here. The moving average is at 49. The 100 moving average is at 50. I have 51. Look at my thing. I got 47.5 as the lower strike. Lower strike. And 51, 52 as the upper strike. Basically 51 above here and 47.50 below this support. So that gives us two supports between current price and the strike we're picking. And 51.50, 51 gives us one strike, and I'm sure there's another one. Oh, there's one right here. Two strikes between that current price and where we're talking about for the sell leg on the call credit spread. All right, let's go and look at let's see what kind of monies. 47.5, paying $8, not in love at all. Price action movement may give you a little bit more action there. That's the bottom. And 51, 52 on the top. Another $7. Yeah, I'm not in love with that.
You actually did Disney last week for a little lower, 105, 106.
I did, yeah. Yep.
On the put side. Interesting.
Yep, it was last week. And even though y'all know that even though I select these strikes, when the day opens, I always want you to go back and look back at what's happening in that day's price action to determine if you're still interested in that strike. And if not, I want you to find one that does interest you. This is the guideline I give just through the weekend. But if you see something better when it comes time to enter, you want that stock, then, go for it. And you can always feel free to ask in the comments or in the Telegram. Feel free to ask about it. What do y'all think about so-and-so at this price? You can ask me directly. You can just put it in there as a comment and we'll look and see. Other people will look too because other folks be interested in seeing interesting things. Not just me. Okay. Truist Financial. This is a credit union here for us. Do y'all have a Truist where you live? We have
Yeah, I didn't know it was a credit. I didn't know it was a credit.
We have it as a credit union here.
I mean credit union, yeah.
Donna says yes, they do too. Okay, so I have never traded it, but here it's on the list as a neutral as well. TFCC on the moving average is kind of, looks a lot like the one we just looked at, which was Oxy, doesn't it? Okay, there we go. Let me turn you off so I can get some little better look at the chart. Okay, that, oh, there's a gap here that has not been filled. Close to the open, no, come on. Here we go, to the open and pull back off the price action. There's that one. There's a little bitty one here. Oh, come on. Work with me. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I've got 44.45 on the bottom, which puts us below this support here. And I've got 47.5, 48.5 on the top, which is pretty far, but that's right up here beyond this. So basically we're outside of all this price action. We're below this and above that. Let's see what kind of money is at those two places. 45 on the bottom. I wonder if, you know what though? I don't think I fixed Oxy. Did I change? No, let me go back to Oxy first. I think that's what, something had to be wrong with Oxy. I don't think I adjusted, let me close this. I don't think I adjusted the price to make it a one spread. 47.5, this should be a 46.5. No, not confirm and send. No. $14 is what's there. Not $8, $14. I made it a 46.5, 47.5, which is a one spread. This should be $14. So $14 plus the $7 makes Oxy a $21 trade, which is desirable. Okay, that's gonna, from a premium standpoint, gonna outshine these three up here, even though you got to be on both sides. Sometimes people get real nervous about that. I totally get it. But that's $21 for that trade. And depending on how it goes, if it goes up into the strike, you get a little closer, get a few more dollars. If it goes down a little closer, you get, more dollars, more money down here, and your total trade can be even more than $21. All right. Now that I've looked at that, let's go to Truist Financial. Let's go back to that. 44.45. I'm going to change this to make it 44. 44.45 is paying $13. Paying $13 here. 1 3. And on the bottom side, sorry, the top side, 47.5, 48.5. Another $14. Another $14 there. So 13 and 14, $27 for Truist Financial. Okay, $27 total, $1 stock. There's a 27% return. Of course, you're gonna close it a little early with your we don't necessarily ride it till Friday. We close it on Thursday if we can, or whenever we can, not just on Thursday. Whenever you can close it and be fine with what you got in premiums, you want to go ahead and close your trade off. That one that's of interest. Looking at the chart, I want to look at the chart one more time so you all can see if it's something you agree with what I'm talking about. This would give us a strike below, what do we say, 45? So we would be below this, we'll be in this zone. And above it, 47.5, 48.5, we'd be up here. Right, so all this dancing around that it's done over the last 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 days. And it's also stayed in this zone even before that. It danced out of it and came back, went out of it, came back, went out of it, came back, but it's been between these two lines. We've got a 100 period moving average below the price. It's just above the 50 period moving average. This is a 50 period moving average here, right? So keep that in mind if you think about that, something you may want to trade. I'm trying to think about which ones I like for us for next week. We keeping it light. Keeping it light. We've been trying to do that every week, trying to keep it light. Okay. Thoughts there? Truist or Oxy? All right, let's move on to the call credit spreads then. Adobe. Got a big old gap. Oh, we got a big old gap. Definitely bearish. Moving average actually kind of seems like it's kind of leveled off a little bit, but they're all spread out. Resistance. We won't even talk about going to the top of the gap, even though that is resistance. 465. I feel like I got a lot of big ones here. Let me see. Take some of these off. This one's probably better there. And this support. In this general vicinity, there is support. Big old wick. I've got Adobe 450, 452. 450 puts us up in this zone right here where my mouse is. Just above this touch from December. It did go through it, come back through it. And now this is still going to be support or resistance, like a resistance. 450, 452.5. Let's go look at the option chain. 450 has a 75% probability out of the money. If you wanted to go one more, since this is a more expensive stock, it might offer a little bit more money. 450 or 452.5. Let's check and see what we like. 450, 452.5 is $60. The one I suggested is $60. If you said, let me go one more step, 452.5, 455 is $47. 2.5 spread, pulling in $47 or $60. What we saying about them pens and pencils? 47. I'm gonna put a slash and put 60 because if you go one more step away, I'm gonna swing back because I want to look at the implied volatility number. Plus or minus 14. So if we added 14 to this, right, we'd be at 452. 452 if we added 14, which is right where we are, 452, 455. Adobe has earnings next week. Would that matter? It does. So it has earnings which day? The week coming or the week after that? The 12th. So let's go look, because that might make a difference. You're right. What we can do and what you can do when you're looking at a stock and deciding, do I want to trade it when it's coming up to earnings, and see how did it do the last time it had earnings, right? I think this is earnings from December, right? It had earnings. Now it gapped down for those earnings.
Yep,
went back to fill that gap up. Let's go see what previous earnings. Previous earnings, it gapped down and it really didn't go back to fill that gap. Not saying that this will happen every time, but I'm saying that's something you just want to take a look at, right? This was a gap that was created and then it closed up some of it, but it left that part at the top. That was that gap or that earnings. We can go back to the previous earnings. Now this earnings, it gapped up. I don't know if it filled that gap there. Okay, let's document this one. It gapped up on this one. Right, price action pullback. It finally did fill that gap, but it did gap up for this earning. But you saw it gapped up and came right back down into it. In the 4s, 500s. Let's go back one more. This earnings here, that's all the data I got. But this one back here in the left, it also gapped down back here. It did come back in and fill this one. It gapped down from here to there. This was the gap. And then it filled it. Some even back here. Y'all, I'm pointing over here like y'all can see me. It filled, all of this did get filled in. But it's gapped down. So of the last 4 times that it had earnings, it's gapped down. One of those, all the time except for once, and one time it gapped up. And then even after it gapped up, it came back down into the gap to fill it. Okay, again, past performance doesn't necessarily indicate anything in the future. We just looking back for research. We researching.
So does it look like the week before it's running up and then gapping down?
This one here?
Yeah. Well, all of them, right? The ones that were gapping down. It looks like the week before it has
And it runs up. Okay, I got you. Runs up and then gaps down. Okay, that one it did that. Yep. This one, it pulled up from here. This was the gap up one. It gapped up on that one. This one, I can't see that week. It did run up a bit and then gap down. This one, it ran up and then gapped up. This one, it ran up nicely and gapped down. And then this one ran up, gapped down. Yep. Could very well run up to, if nothing else, to this, maybe to a resistance area, which we have 450, which is going to push us past. The first resistance is the 452 area. That's a good point. I think it would have to be, definitely would have to be a watch, because you'd want to make sure that you weren't, in the middle, or if you wanted to go a little higher, maybe you went up above this second resistance. Very good point. I do like Adobe for that, but you want to make sure that we're, again, plus or minus 14, market mover is not up there right now. Let's go. I'm looking at the daily. I'm gonna look at the weekly chart, see if we can go to another time frame and see if that gives us a little more info. Seems to just be dancing. The moving 50-period moving average for the weeks, 50 weeks, has it pulling back down to the 100 and looking like it wants to cross it. I'm not sure if y'all can see that. How the blue has crossed the brown. The brown is the 100 and the blue is the 50. It is crossed going down. That probably came from this big old monster candle this week, which was an earnings week. Let's see what we got on the monthly time frame. I need my monthly. There we go. This is our monthly chart. Looks like we've got lower highs going, lower lows, kind of got a downwards trend coming down into the 100 month moving average. Not there, but currently below the 50-month moving average. Right between these two, it may stay right there. The top of this is 460. You know what we can do too? I don't know if it'll be as easy for me to look at our VWAP and look at the anchor on, I'll go with number 2. And then I want to anchor it on the, let's anchor it on the month. We may be able to anchor it on the, oh no, the week's just starting. I'm going to anchor it on the month, and I'm going to turn it on so we can see it. Show us. Show us. Nope. With the bands.
It looks like it went down all day. I mean, all last week.
Oh, plot, name, show bubble, show all the pieces, show all the things. Trying to get it to show, but I don't see the bands. It's not showing the bands. And I closed my Thinkorswim trading view. Oh, you know what? Let me go to a smaller time frame. I may be able to see it. There we go. I'm asking for it to anchor on the month, and I'm on the monthly chart. Gonna be a little difficult, isn't it? I know. All righty. So I turned on the second band. So I turned on band number 2, but I anchored it to the month. This would show us last month. Got a little, this is a daily chart. Good little wick here. This wick definitely tells you that it wants to go up some more. And VWAP is at 452. So it's definitely going to want to revert back to that. So definitely keep that. VWAP is not there. VWAP is here at 448. It's going to try to revert back to that. I like that, but let's definitely would want to watch and see what it does. What you saying, Janae?
So right below the actual spread of 452 or 450, right?
Yeah.
Where's your VWAP? Is it the blue line?
VWAP is this purple one. The blue is the 50-period moving average, which is at 452, which is, that would provide some resistance. The purple line, though, is the VWAP line, which is at 448 and turning down.
Be a little bit lower than 452. You had it at 445, right?
I have 450. Over here, 450 is the strike. I like it though. We have to watch a little closer on that one and see what we might want to do. Not just because of the premiums, but we do want to get, nice premiums.
It's been confirmed.
All righty, so the Dow, DOW, which is not the Dow, but Dow, not SOUN, Dow. Let me turn off VWAP. Okay. Are we on the daily? Yes, we are. Was that a comment was over here in the, oh no, that's not one. Like there's a gap we need to consider on Dow. Close to the open and come back off it a bit, okay? Also, call credit spread 39.5, 40.5, 39.5. Let me see what we got here. 39.9 is here. 39.5 may feel a little uncomfortable, but this is where we are. There's another gap here that needs to be filled. Close to the open, little bitty baby, little bitty baby. There's also resistance in the area of 38. We're below that now. And 38.97, right? So I've got us looking at 39.5. 39.5 is 84%. I actually liked 39, but 74% was a little closer than I like to suggest. And it's got an IV of 1.3. So 39 puts you at an IV of 0.8. And that wouldn't be, we're not doing that. 39.5, better set up. 39.5, 40.5. Paying $9. $9. Ooh. Not a fan, but there we are. Okay, let's go look at Google. Google. Goog. Goog is on the low risk bearish area. Google was on the moderate risk bearish area. So I went with Google. Now Google has been, we've traded it a few weeks and it's done its good work. But I was looking to see, I'm trying to keep us on the low risk list. You know what? I must have turned off my moving average because I no longer see it. There we go. Turned off the wrong one. Boop. Going too fast, too far. Come back. There we go. This is Google. Usually we chart and trade Google, but we're on the Google chart. Got a gap here. Take some of these lines off. $50-period moving average is trending downwards. Price is below the 200, 100, and the 50. $187. Resistance way up here. Little bitty gap right there. Let's see if we see anything else back here we need to incorporate. Nope, go ahead and put it there. Yeah, and then this, the gap, okay? I've got 177.5 as our spot, 177.5. There's two resistance zones between current price and there. This would actually be support that it stopped at. 177.5. That's about 5 points away from where we currently are. 177.5 is 77% probability out of the money. Implied volatility is 6, puts us at about 178, right, to play resistance if we were doing that. Vertical 177.5, 180. Paying $44. Let's look at the next strike and see if, even if we wanted to go to 180, what that looks like. It's paying $44. If we wanted to adjust it to 180, 182.5, that's paying 26. If it climbs a little bit, you can, get a few more in premiums. 177.5, 180, paying $44. Lows. Questions, anybody? Only got a couple more. If you got one you want me to add to the list, definitely let me know. 252, 254, 259. Yep, we can look at now. How did that turn out, Val?
I closed it pretty much, I think maybe before lunchtime.
Mhm.
And I just went ahead and took the loss because it was a total breach because I didn't expect it to recover. But
Right.
it recovered all the way to 929 and then went to 930 after the market closed.
Really? But after the
Yes.
market closes.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but the homework assignment, I did try to put I don't know if I did it right. You put the 50 EMA on there and
Mhm.
it looks like it's downtrending.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think I should try to find a
Call credit spread.
call credit spread because the call credit spread was wonderful. That
Oh,
worked. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll definitely look at it. Lowe's, I got 255 on the top side, and your current price is between these two. Below the 3 moving averages, 255 would be up here a bit after those two. Lowe's like to move a little bit, so we have to watch that. 255 is a 78% probability out of the money. 255 is $48. It's paying. Lowe's is paying. Ooh. Okay. What did I say? $48. Lowe's, $48. Okay. Next Era Energy. Looking at our chart. I haven't charted this in a while. Also got the moving averages crossing over on the downwards run. I got 72, which is right above this big change here. 72, 73, paying $20. 72, 73, paying $20. That's pretty good for a one spread without turning it into an iron condor. Next Era Energy. Last on our list is Lisa. You here? It's Lisa's baby. UPS. Let's look at the chart. Let's see what we got. Cash secure put for SoUN with strike 10. I don't want the share. I'm stopping it. Omit to stop it. Rigetti is having earnings this week, and when is your expiration, Marcia?
This week.
Okay. I actually thought about my cost basis on SoUN is higher than I want it to be. I considered buying a little bit more to bring my cost basis down. But yeah.
That's what I did this week.
Bought some while it was lower.
Yes.
A good move. Good. That's where your thoughts are different when you're acquiring shares and trading options. When you're trading the options, you of course are in bad shape when it's like it's going down. But if you're acquiring the shares when it goes in, like I'll just buy some more. If you liked it at 17, which we did, you should love
really
it.
Like it at 10.
Should love it at 10. Oh, goodness. Okay, so this is UPS. UPS also is coming back into this gap, though. It may decide it wants to try to fill some of this gap. I'm eyeballing the halfway mark, which will be 126. 122 is what I have for resistance, though. I don't know. It is all below this moving average. The 50-period moving average is 121 and some change, so that's going to provide it some resistance as well. But it has seemed to be continuously going on up here. 122 would be right in here. It's still showing, it must have dropped it back because it's still showing a downwards trend on the 50-period moving average, but it's been going up now since beginning of February. Just not going up really hard and fast. So you see, 122 is an 81% probability out of the money. If you wanted to trade, it's paying $15. If you wanted to trade UPS, I would see what it does as far as price climbing still, if it's still doing any movement, and then decide if you can really like the strike still to get more premiums for them. But according to what I see on the chart, it could still be, if we're looking at moving averages, it could still be bearish, but I also see price action. It's been going up ever since the beginning of February. Again, it's not going up hard and fast, but it's getting ready to come back into the gap that was left between 119 and 133. It could potentially be getting back into that gap. It's a seller's gap, so even if it goes into it, there's going to be sellers in there. So that doesn't mean it's going to get in there and run all the way up because there's sell orders that are in place. And it don't seem to have a whole lot of momentum to push it up into here fast. So it'll be what it'll be, right? Let's go look at now. Oh, BKB. Okay. Now ended, as you see, it ended with the hammer. And it is just below the 200-period moving average. If it can push back, it can use this, moving average as a something to push off of. It didn't close just below it. So it could definitely, you said it's at between 929 and 935. Yeah, it's back above the moving average. And that 200-period moving average will provide support and push it on upward. So you got two things. According to your 50-period moving average, it is still bearish. According to this price action here, there was a gap here that it filled.
Right. And you're right. I expected, because the last time it was there, that started that whole leg up. So I was just like really hopeful, but we had so many red days last week, it just
Yeah.
kept going down.
Yeah. Now I was like, I cannot. I'm
I
trying.
cannot.
Yeah. I'm trying. I just can't get up. Okay, there's a little bitty gap down here, just below 900. It looks like these wicks came down right into the 900 range. Again, another
Right.
psychological number. So it used that and these moving average to maybe push it back up. So you got two things to think about, Miss Valerie. If we were looking on the bottom side, come on. I put this right in the way, and then now I need it to, okay. Looking at the bottom side, I would go down. You got a plus minus 34. Plus minus 34, and the current price is 929. So below, 895, maybe it would be 895. It's a 5 spread down here. 78%, 890, 895. 890, 895 is paying $130. That's pretty nice for a 5 spread.
It's been giving really good premiums, and that's how it got me caught.
Yeah. 890, 895. And if you wanted to look, if you wanted to, revisit the top side, looking for 78% at 960. If you did 960, 965, That's another $135. So $265 for a 5 spread. That's a one-to-one. That's a one-to-one. And when I say that, if you do the iron condor and you take in 265 on both sides, then your max loss is 235. Right? That's how I say one-to-one risk to reward. You're gonna reward this 265, which is one, and you're risking 235. So this is a one, very close. It's not exact. It's about a one-to-one risk to reward.
Okay. That's really good for $500, and I can ride that for the week. My weekly, I try to at least net 125.
Okay. Okay. Yep. If you can do that and pull in 265 and then close them as a unit, or close one side and the other side and then make your 125, then yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anything else we got?
I'm sorry, what was that bottom number again? Was it
Bottom
80?
number is 895.
Okay.
Yep, bottom number was 895 and the top number was 960.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Can we look at the sound hound?
Yep. Sound
Okay,
Hound. Got you.
thanks.
Absolutely. Sound Hound. I really want them. They had earnings and I thought they were gonna have a little bit more better move. They did come back off Friday though and have a good little run up Friday. That's a good little run on Friday.
It was really good, but
yeah.
I'm concerned about that gap
Mm-hmm.
from the 13th.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's
And
filled
it's
some
running
of
up
it.
against it.
Running right up again. Let me move this out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, this is what's left of it. As up to 1194 is where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Again, remember, wherever it's been before, it can go again. So it's been up as high as 16, 17. Of course, we wanted to go back sooner than later. It is above the 200 period moving average, but below the 100. So this
Mm-hmm.
would also could provide some resistance to it at 1183. And then 13 is where the 50 period is. So what you said, you got a 10 strike?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I can't say for sure, but I'm feeling like your 10 strike is probably gonna be fine. Unless
Okay.
some news comes. Let's go look at the chart.
Yeah.
Unless there's some news. You got a 65% probability of it working over 10. 9.5 is a 78, but yeah,
So that's what I wanted to know. When you have the out of the money, you want that to be 70 or 75 or above. And that's what I said. Well, this was only 65. But when you look
You
at
also
the
know this is a dynamic thing. It's a dynamic number. So as price action moves, so does this. This changes.
okay, because I looked at the 9.5 because that was in that above 74, but it was only giving like $16.
Yeah. I don't like that either.
Right.
The delta at the 10 strike is a 29 delta, which is
Mhm.
about 70%, 29.29 that it won't be and 70% that it will be. So yeah, I think you're at a good place.
Okay.
I think your 10 is fine. Well, of course, watch it during the week, but I feel like it's gonna want, especially because it popped like it did. It's still kind of at that same place, but I think you may be okay. I think
Okay.
I can't give you no investment advice.
Right. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's just wait and see.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. What else we got? Big Bear AI has earnings this week, so we might not want to trade it, even though it may run up into earnings. Plug and EV Go, some of those are having earnings. Would be great if Big Bear AI could go ahead and it had a good Friday. filled the gap completely, so it can go back and turn around. Now that it came down here and got the gap it left. So maybe Big Bear AI to look at cash secure puts. Cash secure puts on Big Bear AI. If you wanted to go with the 5 strike, you wanted to go with the 5 strike for Friday, collect $35. $35 off of 500 of collateral, that's pretty good. If you was feeling a little more aggressive, you can go at 5.5 and collect 65. This is more than 10%. You're going to collect on a 5.5 spread. Now, this is 5.5 is it's going to be what's called an offensive, well, no, it won't be in this case because the price is now at 562. But anytime you enter a cash secure put and it's beyond or higher than the current price, that's an offensive move. It's basically feeling like you want to take in good premiums and you feel like it will end beyond your strike anyway, right? So 5.5, looks like Big Bear current price is at 562. Maybe an opportunity there. 550 means you're putting up 5.5 means you're putting up $550 of collateral and collecting the $65 in premiums. So really what you're putting up is what, $485 in collateral per contract? $485 per contract. Mm-hmm. Any more thoughts? All righty. So we've got a few things here that we've looked at over to the right. I'm gonna try to see if I can get me a print screen and we can grab these numbers. So that way you can have a record of these. We'll put them in the Telegram. If you can say, well, maybe there's something on here I might be interested in checking out again. We can do that. You can do that. Mm-hmm.
Did you look at, is now on the watch list?
Now is not. I don't think it is.
Okay.
Let's go look. I don't think
was
it.
just
I don't think when
curious.
we talked about it the last time, I don't think it was there. Was it, Valerie? I feel like when we went looking
No,
before.
it wasn't. Microsoft is its peer. I believe Microsoft was on there the last time, but now didn't show up on the list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I
Okay, just
remember now
curious.
wasn't there, but Microsoft could be there. Now is there peer? You say?
Yeah, according to the CNBC app, when you go down and scroll, it is listed as a peer of theirs.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. But those now premiums look kind of nice, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I figured, if I can at least have that on for the week, then it
Yeah.
doesn't press me to if the orb doesn't go right. At least I have
Mhm.
something in the fire for the week.
And you're gonna get a good benefit like you would off of an SPX without all the fun that SPX likes to bring.
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking now, it's not on the list. Let me go back to the chart one more time and we'll look to make sure we're cool with the numbers that we looked at. Okay, so we looked at 960. Let me make it a little bit bigger. We talked about 960, which is going to be up in here. And what did I say? 895?
Yes.
I don't know where my mouse went. Oh, it's up there. And 895, which would be down in here. And when we look at our trending or moving average shows us as bearish, but we also know that we just bumped above the 200 period new moving average, which will provide support. So that's the that can be the two pieces of information that will help you. That will help you with those two. If you wanted to do an iron condor or just one side. If you did it, 135 or 125 on 135 and 130, that's good premiums all by itself.
Right, yeah.
Even if you didn't do an iron condor, one side would be good premium.
I have a question. So if I had stayed in the trade until well, I still would have to have gotten out because of
What's your strike? What was your strike?
It was 9:30 and
Mm.
it
You had 925, 930?
yes.
Oh yeah, you would have probably been fine. I mean, you would have got, because depending on how much money you took in for that trade.
I took in $100.
Oh yeah, so this is what you would have needed. This is a good teaching moment. If you had 930, 925, and you had it for $1 premium, that means your break even was at $929. And I get that by taking the 930 and subtracting $1. This was your break even, was at 929.
Okay.
And it closed at 929.76. I mean, almost 930. So you still would have been in profit.
Okay.
You would have been in profit. You wouldn't have kept all of your money, but you wouldn't have lost it all either. You wouldn't have lost the entire 5. You wouldn't have lost the whole 100.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I
Yeah,
was
you're like, are you
there's no
serious?
way
Yeah.
that it made such a comeback in the afternoon. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, yeah. And after you watch something all day, your senses just get wore down.
Yes. Thank
I
you.
cannot watch it anymore. I'm done. I cannot. Yeah. But yeah, you would have still been profitable. That's a close one, but it would have been profitable. Okay. Questions, anyone? All righty. Clear the screen.
I keep thinking maybe Netflix, but I don't know if I'm gonna actually get into it.
Okay. All right.
Feel like
Netflix.
Yeah. Back at 65, right? What's that?
61.
Oh, no,
Well, it's at 980 is its current price. But it came right back to 961 and bounced off.
okay. All right. I thought I saw 960.
955.
955. Okay.
That's where it bounced off of, was 955. It is still bullish for all intents and purposes. So
Right.
under
Gapped up
950.
after the earnings and never came
Yeah.
back. Well,
945 would be the strike price. 945. 945 is paying $87. Okay.
that 37?
What was it?
Implied volatility. No, the implied volatility is that saying 37?
Yes, 37. 37.5. So if you were to subtract that from here, you get 920. No, 40 from here is 930. 932. Yep, about 932.
908.
Holy high. All righty, childrens. We will talk again soon. Like I said, on the call, I won't be on in the morning. I got to go to the doctor. So my doctor's appointment is super early, 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be going to the doctor first thing. I didn't know they made appointments that early in the morning. The lady called me like, can we schedule it for 8 o'clock? I was like, in the morning? Really? the doctor be in the office meeting people. But I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
that
Usually
means you didn't go Friday.
that means what?
That means you didn't go Friday.
I did. It was different doctor. Different doctors.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I did go Friday. I went Friday at 11. I went to that appointment.
They do them
Uh-huh.
at 7 for some places, for the older
Really?
people. They like getting in and getting out.
Yeah, I was thinking, and you know what though, they may meet their patients in the morning and do surgeries in the afternoon. They may have, some other things like that. This is my surgeon, so that he had to work around his surgery schedule. So cool. All right, to y'all. I won't be on in the morning, but I will be around. We're gonna see what we can do, and I'll be in the chat for sure. All righty.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Alrighty.
Absolutely.
Thank
So,
you.
hang out
Okay,
with y'all.
Uh,
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
thanks.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.